Hi everyone, I'm audible. Can you guys please confirm I'm audible or not? Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening all. Yeah, hi Nishant, hi Dipanshu. Good evening. So I think I'm audible, right? Yeah, hi Nena. Good evening, Nena. Hi Arpit. So good evening everyone. Welcome back with the today's session. Today's session would be entirely oriented to the problem solving that we already have discussed about the topics and all, right? So we'll totally focus on the problem solving today, from today, right? From today, I think so. This week would be like more towards the problem solving, towards the logical skill building, right? Okay. We'll wait for another 2 minutes for everyone to come because I think so. Right now it's almost half attendance. So how you all guys doing? How was your day? Mine was pretty good. Cool, right? Good, good. Not a good day, Aradhya. What happened? Oh, it's raining in Delhi. Yeah, I heard the news. Yesterday's test, yeah. How was your test? How was your test, everyone? Dipanshu says, Nilanjan says it was pretty good. How was your test, everyone? You did perform well? Moderate. Oh, Nana, why? Because everyone else, like, I think so. I heard the comment, like, they performed really good. Nishant is good. So, yeah, you felt right, like, this kind of sessions really helped you in that particular to perform in the test. You felt that? So if you focus entirely in the class, I think so you did not find any kind of mistake or any such hurdles in the test. I think so, right? So that was our main motto, right? Uh, oh, good. 318, that's a good score. Yes, I think so. You really progressed really well, and I seen that you have that zeal inside of you, like you have a curiosity to learn. You know, you were asking the questions throughout the class. If you are not understanding the question, even after understanding the entire topic, it was pretty good that you did not hesitate to ask the question. So that kind of zeal I want from everyone, right? Yes, Nilanjan, that's all pretty good. I'm really motivated, and I'm really inspired by this kind of comics. These sessions were really helpful to you, and I can see the scores also. 320, 322, great. Arpit, what happened? 279. It's okay. You can learn more about it. You can focus more about it. On about it. Okay, because I can understand. Like I think you are not from tech background, right? So I would suggest that you have to work in really basic manner. Try to spend some more time with TS. That would be your first goal. Second goal would be whatever that are the topics that are learned inside the session. I think you are watching the recordings or not. I'm not aware about it, but if you are not, please watch that. Okay, Dipanshu, that's great score 307. But I was expecting more from you, to be honest. Okay, Parag 330. That's great, great, awesome. Nana 224. Okay, moderate, not too bad, not too good. 330, Aradhya, that's great. 341, Ekta, expected. Like I was expecting this kind of scores from you also. Like expecting more, that's okay. But that's also pretty good score, Ekta. That's great. Okay. Deep 353. Awesome. So in second round I solved 3 out of 3 questions, but still I got 76. Oh, okay, Ritik. I think you like. Can you please, if you feel that your evaluation has not been done in a proper way, you can reach out to Anshul or anyone else from the team, right? You have all those resources. Work hard. I watched the videos twice, but just for the okay, okay. So I can like. Have you tried to connect it with? Have you tried to connect with the TS Vikas? I think they can help you with this. I think they can help you with this. Okay, Likhit, please help me with the doubt. Okay, okay. So, Likhit, I like. Is it okay if we can, discuss this after this session? Like in the last 10 minutes, can I discuss this? Or you can do one thing. You can try to see the first pattern we have already been discussed. I think so. You are aware about it. In the second pattern, if you observe, then you just have to left out the space. So you have to make a logic of the space in such a way that it will print this pattern. Try to print pattern in the full first, then try to think about the spaces. Okay, that would be a go. Sir, my basics are not clear. I got less marks in MCQs. Okay, Deepak. You can ask some of the doubt that you feel that you are not good at. You can ask those doubt in the doubt session. Otherwise, you can try to connect with the TAs. Or else in the regular session, I am trying to covering like every such basic topics that is related to the topic. I would cover that. I guess something went wrong with the screen recording, the feature around the. Okay, okay. So you felt that some technical issues were there, Ekta. You can please no give your feedback to Anshul or anyone with the team, right? They will be more than happy to solve this particular session. Ekta might dropped in the round three. Okay, I can see like many of the comments related to the recording and the technical issues, right? This happened with everyone. Mm, please one thing. Okay, because I'll try to use some Hindi, but not too much. I'll try to use some Hindi in. So you can do one thing. Like after the topic, if you feel that you are not understanding that, you can just ping me up in the comment section. I will try to explain in any other form. Okay, but I cannot use more Hindi, है ना? Because everyone is not aware about it. Like everyone would not understand that because many of the students are from southern part also, right? Only write logic in second round, but I wrote the coding. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, okay. So that was pretty. I think so. Like uh, I can see that everyone has performed in such a way that no they can be in a form that they can perform really well in the actual exam, right? So they are you are right now progressing. I think so, right? So please keep this particular sessions and please keep this particular practice going on. Don't lose the hope. If you are scoring well or not, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, your knowledge will be matter. Okay. This test would be helping you in the to sit in the proper interviews. But if you don't know the logic, if you don't know the concepts, nobody can help you. Right? Okay. So Dipanshu, have you tried to solve some more problems regarding the pattern that I have discussed in the doubt session? I think so. You were not in the doubt session. I'm not aware about it. Yeah, you enjoyed the session, right? You enjoyed the test experience. Yeah, great. Okay. Okay. Let me see, Nilanjan, your doubt. What is the senior citizen class in JS, which is asked in the test? So this class concept is also asked in your test, and I would say that see the classes and all would be discussed in the oops concept. I'm not sure like why they have included in that, but uh, you can say that this is the particular thing that you have to explore. See, If I can say that 1 plus 2 equals to 3, then 2 plus 2 is also equals to 4, right? So you have to also go around with this kind of concept also. You have to do R&D also, as we have discussed in the first session, right? Hannah? Yes or no? Right? So now, if I will tell you that your senior citizen class is asked in your question, right? So how many of you have scored in that? How many of you got what does it mean? Anyone from you have gone through about this? Yes or no? Senior citizen function, I googled it after the class, but made wrong option in the test. Did it wrong, but googled it later. Okay, that was expected, right? See, if you don't know the answer, that's great. But if you haven't googled it, if you haven't learned about it, that's pretty much pathetic, right? So you have to search also. Like, what does that mean? Anyone have searched and got the answer? Anyone have searched and got the answer about it? Function, right? Okay. Also ask in the life, don't know. Okay. Okay. So you can do one thing. You can list it down. Like, you have to make a separate copy of this entire concepts. Okay. IIF is nothing but like it's a concept regarding the theoretical thing. You know what does it mean? It's like immediately invoked function expression. Okay. Okay, so it's immediately invoked function expression, IIFE means. Okay, so it does mean that it is a kind of a pattern or alias that we have a global variable, right? Okay, so it's kind of a make variable or function in the private, and to ensure that asynchronous code, like what is asynchronous you don't know right now, but in the loop, if you can say that like any of this particular function that can be invoked immediately, that is particularly known as IIFE. Okay, I'll come to that in a doubt session. I'll try to explain that. Okay, closures is also one of the main thing that has been that's yet to explore in your class. I think so. Like, closures we have done in your class or not? We did closures. We did hoisting, right? We did hoisting, right? So in that we have learned about the scopes. Yes or no? We have learned about the scopes now, right? Okay, and we have also learned about the function expression. Yes or no? We have learned about the function expressions, right? So IIFE, that does mean that your anonymous function, or you can say like in the arrow function, you remember that we have passed the function inside the arrow function. Okay, directly the function, that function does not have the name, right? So that is a function that will be invoked immediately. Can I say that? Yes or no? Yes. So suppose if I have this one, that where, or else if I don't have this where, right? So let me just delete it. First of all, let's suppose I have taught you what is the arrow function, right? So arrow function does mean that this is your argument, this is your arrow. Inside this, you have to write your logic, correct? Yes. Yes or no? So can I say this is also a function, right? That this function does not have any name. Yes or no? This function does not have any name. Can you see any name in this? No, right? Right. So can I say this? Can I also write this as like this, that something called as just a second. Can I also write it like this, that this is my particular function, and I can write it like this, that suppose function. Can I do this? Can I write it like this? Yes or no? Hannah? I can write it like this, right? Right. Everyone agrees with me? I can write it like this way. right? So can I also do, since this function does not have any name, okay, this function does not have any name. So if I do like this now, then it will be immediately called. Normal function have some name like sum is my function, right? So if you do this, sum will be called. Okay, anywhere you have declared the sum, right? But inside this, you since you don't have any name, if you just do like this function will be called immediately. Okay, right? No, I'm explaining about IIFE. That does mean that immediately invoke function expression. Okay, so you can see that this function will be immediately like immediately called, right? So Meg, I'll try to explain about this in the last 15 minutes if anyone have some doubt in this. Okay, I can also encourage you can have anybody search about this IIFE in the background like after their test. So if you have searched, you will come across this concept. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. That will be much more helpful to you. Just a second. Let me know once you can see my screen, right? My console is visible to everyone. Yes, my console is visible to everyone, right? Okay, okay, great. So, uh, your question was what is IIFE, right? What is IIFE? And so you know about the full form of IIFE or not? IIFE or full form of IIFE or not? Okay. So it's something known as immediately invoked function expression. Okay. Okay. It is a function that is executed instantly. Okay. Once you will define it. Okay. Okay. There is some kind of particular space or particular requirement where you have to use IIFE. Where we have to use, I'll just tell you that when we come across that. Okay. But right now you can just assume that if you declare any function, that would be immediately called, that is something known as IIFE. Okay. So for an example, this is my function. I can declare my function like this. Okay. Inside that I can also like do this, and if I do console dot log hello, can I do this, guys? Can I do this or not? Okay. So you can see if I just run this, okay, that is not something is not called, right? So your function has been defined, but you cannot call it since you haven't named it. Am I right? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Okay. But if I just do this to call my function, you can see now my output is visible. So this function has immediately called, right? Once it is defined, we have called it. Now this is declaration. This is called, right? This is the example of IIFE. Okay. Now, in case of this is my simple IIFE, right? But in case of my arrow function, when we are working with the arrow function, how does it behave? So I told you in the arrow function that we have to remove this function keyword. Yes or no? You remember, right? We have to just do what? First of all, you have to do arrow. Okay. In the left hand side, we have to do arguments. In the left hand side, in the right hand side, we have to write the logic. Yes or no? Everyone remember? Right. Inside this, my logic was what? Console.log hello arrow. Okay. Okay. Now, if I just run this, you can see my first hello was printed of this. Okay. It should print hello arrow, right? But it has not printed because like I haven't called it, right? So I have to call it. Yes or no? Right. So I will just call it by this, and let's try to run now. You see the output. Once it is defined, we have immediately called. So this is the example of IIFE. That does mean that immediate invoked function expression. Now everyone got it, right? Everyone got it now? Okay, yes, Dipanshu, please ask. Dipanshu, please ask so that we can move towards the problem solving, because you have to solve a lot of problems today. Okay, we'll not waste time in that. Yes, got it. Yes, Dipanshu, you can come on mic. You can raise your hand and you can come on mic. Okay. Am I audible, Dipanshu? Yes, Dipanshu, please ask.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sir, just wanted to know like the invoking function of these two functions are like exactly same, like brackets and then semicolon. Like, what if we just call the function like in the after line number 11 both the function at the same time? So will it throw some kind of error or like the
You mean to say this function, this is your first function, this is your second function, right? You have to
like
call this both the function once, like parallelly, right?
yeah, correct. Instead of like calling at the time of declaration.
No, no, you cannot, because see, this is my anonymous function. Okay, this function would be my anonymous function. Anonymous function does mean what? It does not have any name,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you have any name, then you can, like your name is Dipanshu, so your mom will call Dipanshu, right? But suppose you don't have any name, how someone will call you? They
Okay.
cannot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So once this function has born, we have to call it. After that, we don't have that luxury to call it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Understood, sir.
Okay, this is what the functionality of IIFE. If you have those functionality that you have to define your function and call later, that will not come under the IIFE, right? Because see, if you see the this one, this is immediately invoked function expression. That means once it is declared, you have to call immediately. There are certain design patterns. What is design pattern and all, I'll just let you know after, once we progress further. But at that time you have to use this only. You don't have those luxury to define function before words and use that afterwards. Okay, that is why this has to be learned. Cool.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right.
And sir, what
Okay.
what would be the benefit of having this kind of function, sir?
As I said, Dipanshu, there are certain kind of design patterns. What is design pattern and all, we'll learn once the course will be progress, right? Right now, you just learn that this kind of functionality is also there in JavaScript, right? Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
I'll name some of the design pattern of that, such as like no alias global variables. This kind of patterns will use to make the variables and function private, to ensure that the code will be done asynchronously in the loops to execute it correctly. Like what does that mean? We'll not go into that in detail, right? Because you will not, right now you don't know what is asynchronous, what is like function private thing. You don't know this, right? So you will not understand that. But you can understand that once function is declared, you that has to be called in the IIF. Cool.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Yeah, I hope am I making sense, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so now, uh, where we use, like I already told Dipanshu, you don't have, like Deepak, you don't have to worry about that right now, because there are certain kind of design like patterns where we have to use that. We'll not touch that right now. Okay, what is the use of keeping the code that is already covered? All right, can you please explain the memory management? We like, no, right now you don't have to worry about memory management also. But if you have to learn about it, I already explained about call stack, right? How the stack would be managed, how the function would be go inside that, right? Everyone, I have explained about call stacks in recursion. In many of the other term also, like while debugging, we have also seen the call stacks, right? So in that you can go and you can see what kind of memory and what kind of memory is occupying for particular function, particular variable, right? But right now it's not needed to run. Yeah, you will learn that, Vikas. No, Atish, Java is something different. here is something different. Okay, will not mix both the things. Okay, so now I'll share my OneNote. I'll share my OneNote screen, and we'll start with the first problem of today. That will be entirely oriented to the arrays. You know? So all you have like refreshed your memory with regards to arrays and the functions. You have revised the concepts of arrays and functions, because right now we will solve problems with respect to that. Yes or no? Okay, so now, so for this day, our first problem would be, I'll give you the problem statement, and together we will think about, we will brainstorm little bit, and then I'll try to explain the concept. Okay, okay. So now, if I'll tell you that you have a particular array, let's say any array of the numbers, and you have to find the minimum and maximum of it. Let's say your array would be 3, 31, 1, and 60, or 6. Okay? Let's say 6. Now in the output, this is your input, right? In the output, I want that my max element is 31 and my minimum element is 3. I want this as my output. Sorry, minimum element is 1. Okay, I want this as my output. Okay, you don't have luxury to sort it. Okay, you don't have to use the sort method. Apart from the sort method, I want any solution. Swap, but how? Okay, do one thing. Take your time. Take your time. I'll not ask immediately. See, what the question is, I'm just repeating that you have this array as my input. Okay, I'll give you this array. Then after, you have to write the code in such a way that it will give me the maximum element and minimum element. Okay. So in that, if I'll tell you the logic, like I'll not tell you the logic, I'll just tell you the approach. You know, just little bit of hint of the approach. Okay. Okay. So what does you have to do? What do you have to do that in the inside the array you have to traverse every element. Okay, you have to traverse every element. First of all, your min and max, you have to initialize that, and every element you have to check whether this is less than this, then this will be your minimum. If this is greater than this, then it will be your maximum for entire elements. And after the execution of every element, you have to see what is your minimum, what is your maximum. That will be your approach, right? Okay. Okay. So I'll just give you 5 minutes to think of. Okay, 5 minutes to think of and brainstorm and digest this particular problem. I hope everyone clears with the problem. What is the question? You know, everyone is clear about it. Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So I'll just give you 5 minutes to think of. We'll be back at 8:33, right? Okay. It is 8:28 right now. We'll be back at 8:23. For 5 minutes, I'll just give you time for think. Then we'll together solve this particular problem. I hope that will make sense, right? I'm giving you okay. Navneet, I explained about the approach, that is, you have to take one minimum variable, you have to take one maximum variable, you have to check whether your current variable is less than your minimum variable or not. Okay, let's say minimum variable I have 100. Okay, suppose. So you have to check for entire variable that whether my 3 is less than 100 or not. If yes, then 3 is your minimum. For entire elements, you have to do that for every elements. And after the end of the execution of the last element, you have to see what is inside a minimum element. Similar goes for the maximum, right? Okay. Okay, cool. Take it. So I'll share the input in the chat section so that everyone can copy that. 3, 31, then 1 and 6. Okay, this is my input, and as my output, I want minimum as 1 and maximum as 31. Okay, this should be my output. Okay, I hope now everyone is clear about the question. Okay? I have pinned the problem statement in the chat section. Okay, you can see that. you can use reduce. Okay, don't worry. Okay, you can use reduce, but I can say like there's no need of to use reduce, but if you want you can use that. You don't have to use sort, but I'll not allow to use sort. Okay. Ekta, you don't have to use that particular math function. Okay, you don't have to use particular math library that I already, like I told that, like I'm not sure like I'm audible or not, but now I'm audible, right? For everyone, yes or no?
So Ekta, you have used math dot. So math library are not supposed to use, okay? Because with the help of the math, you are pretty it's pretty easy to develop that. But we are not supposed to use that. Now, this is a Bharat's code. Okay. Bharat, you just did for the max. What about the mean? Okay. I want mean also, right? Okay. Anyway, nice try by the way. Bharat, Ekta, both. Okay, now Keshav. Okay, let's pick the Keshav's code. Okay, max mean. Keshav, you did not printed the mean and max first of all. Second is max is zero, mean is array of zero. Okay, if you are producing the output is proper, Keshav, of this particular case, then I have no issues with that because you did well. Okay, the conditions are well. Okay, fine. Next is Mehak. Let's check. I'm just picking up randomly, yeah? So don't confuse if I haven't picked your code, okay? Because we cannot check every other's code, okay? All right. I'll just pick randomly three or four code, then I'll just explain, okay? Array 331, okay, minimum max. Okay, you did the similar thing that the previous guy did. That's okay. Okay, fine. So now I'll just tell you one thing. I'll just tell you one thing. Let me share this one. Okay. So guys, can you see my Mozilla Mozilla screen? Can you see? Yes. Okay. So guys, what I'll do now, I'll just take the input as it is. Let's say my input was what? Where? And yeah, one more thing. Uh, from now onwards, I should not see in anyone's code where. Okay. You don't have to declare any variable with the where. Okay, that should be a strict warning for everyone. Okay, because where will create a lot of mess in your code that you cannot solve. How that you will encounter when you are actually working in the industry. Okay, but make a habit to go across with the ECMAScript 6 version. All right, because ECMAScript suggests that you don't have to use where. Before that, every variable was declared with the help of where only. That was not let and that was not const. Okay, right now we have the luxury to declare a variable of let and const. So I'll just revise that whenever you have a variable that might be changed, that might be redeclared, or that might be updated. At that particular time, you have to use let. And whenever you have particular variable or a value that you are pretty much sure that it can't be changed irrespective of what, okay, it's constant. Okay, okay, so at that particular time you have to use const. Where should be strictly omitted. All right, at particular time I was declaring a where variable here because if I use let, let's say let a equals to 3. Okay, and if I just do console dot log a here. Okay, right, if I just update this, like if I just run this, if I want to update this, if I again run this, then it will give me error because it cannot be redeclared anymore. Okay, so I have to refresh my page. That's the reason I was declaring it with where, because with the where I can do at many time I want, right? Right. Okay, but I'll try to use let. I'll not use where. Okay, right, because whenever I'll write where na, I like the particular guilt feel inside my heart, like you don't have to use where. Okay, so that's what I that's why I explained you don't have to use where. Okay, right. Okay, so let's take the array with the let. I hope am I clear with everyone why to use where, why to use let, right? Okay, now we'll take the same variable 3, same the values, not variable, 1 and 6, right? Now I want to find its minimum and maximum. Okay, and mean and max values. Now first and foremost step would be, let's say you have just two two variables here. Okay, two values here, not two variables. We have to just two values here. Okay, so at that particular time, what will you do? You will just compare whether your array of zero, whether your array of zero is less than array of one or not. है ना? If your 3 is less than 31, then 3 is your minimum, 31 is your maximum, because you are just dealing with two values. Am I right? Right? You have just two values at that particular time. What will you do? है ना? You will just check na that your first value is less than second value or not. If yes, then it will be your minimum. The second would be your maximum. Correct? Right? Similarly, we will check now. Similarly, we will check now, or else uh, we will check like this that or okay, let's create a function for that if you want. Okay, we'll go with the function with this. Okay, let's say find max. Okay, if with this find max, your input would be what? Two values. Your array only. Okay, just take one values. Okay, just array would be your value input, right? Now inside this array, inside this particular function, you have to access the array. So we'll just do what? Console dot log array. In the at last, we'll just call this particular function find max with the array. Okay, okay. We'll just name it as input. Okay, input or else input, right? Like this, right? Okay, okay. Let's check it now. So your array has been printed. Your function has been called and it has printed your entire array. So cool. Your function is now working, right? So now let's refresh the page because it will not seem to have any error, right? Now in the second go, what I'll do now, we'll just tweak this particular function now. We'll just tweak this particular function now in a way that it will give me the values as I wanted, right? So we all know we all know that suppose if I do this console dot log, mm, and here I'll just do like let temporary thing, there is a temporary value, temp equals to new array. Guys, you remember about this new keyword? You remember about this new keyword, everyone? है ना? So can you tell me what will be the output of this particular temp? If I'll just print this one temp, what will be the output of this? Can anyone tell me? You have actually revised the concepts. Okay, let's check. So if I do this, then you can see it will give me the empty array since I haven't passed anything inside it, right? Right. But if I'll just pass the size of this like 3, okay, if I just pass the size of this like 3, it will create the 3 empty slots, right? But right now I don't want to uh, get any extra spaces. I'll just declare it like this. Can I do this? Right, it will give me the blank array, right, as we have already seen. Okay, right. So I will just use the same concept inside our array, inside our function. Let me get rid of this and let me rename this particular variable. We'll rename this as particularly like we have to find min max, right? So it will have minimum and maximum. Okay, the name of this like this. Okay, okay. Now you can assume that this min and max variable, this is a array, right? This variable is a type of array. So inside this we will store our minimum and maximum, and at the end of the this we will just print the minimum and maximum, right? So end of the loop, after execution the end of the loop, we'll just print it out like console dot log min is or minimum, and now here we will print our actual minimum variable. Okay, that would be what? Your min max, min and max dot min. We'll have one variable like this min inside this particular this array, right? Similarly, we have the max. Okay, like this, right? Right. Now, we'll go inside this particular thing of inside the particular function, and we'll check whether your array dot length, okay, your array is what length, okay. So we'll check whether your array is length 1 or not. Okay, we'll check that as we have already seen. So we'll just take one variable inside this, let length or len equals to array dot length, okay, so that we don't have to call every time array dot length, right? Okay, now I'll check if this length is equals to 1, then, so if your length is equals to 1, then your max and min both are same, right? Yes or no? So your min max dot min is equals to what? Your array of 0, and your min max dot max is what? Your array of 0. Yes or no? Because both are your array is only length of 1, right? So there is only one element inside it. Yes, है ना? And after we have assigned into this, we have to return from this particular function because we found our value. Yes or no? Nilu, which particular point you are not getting? I don't understand how code is compare. Like, what is that? I don't know. So like I just tell you one another time that we have just defined our input. This input will be passed inside this function find max. This input will be copied inside this array. This array, inside this we have declared our min max array so that we can return that. Okay, this min max array would have min and max, these two elements inside that. If you have just one element, just as like 3 like this, okay, so 3 would be your maximum, 3 would be your minimum, right? So we have completed our code part like this right now. Why we invoking declare min and max? So you can also declare this as a function also, okay, because I just have to make two variables. Like you can also declare two variables inside this, like min and max. We have to find two things, min and max, right? है ना? Okay, so in line number 8 and 9, okay, so in line number 8 and 9, this is your main, like, so 3 is your only element, right? So 3 is your minimum, 3 is your maximum. So I have declared this min max array. Inside min max array you have a min element, inside that you have a max element, right? Okay, so this min would be assigned with array of 0, that is 3, and this is also assigned with 3. Okay, I have not completed the code, guys. Okay, so I'm not sure why you have doubt in this. Why not simply min? Because min is not like, min is what? We have variable of min max. If I just do like this min, then min is your local variable, right? Priyanshu, you know, I just said na that you can also work like, you can also declare object of this also, like this also. Okay, then also you can do the line. Then also you can achieve the same thing. Okay? How min and max elements are, okay, so I just explained that. Subit, Nilanjan, function of array. It's not a function of array. It's not a function of, it's, look, you can just write like this also, like mean where, okay, mean value. Okay, you can also like do like this, or max value. Okay, this is just a member of your array. Okay, right? So if you just have to know, see, if you are confused in this, then let me just cut this everything. Let me create new variable. Let array, or let array is equals to 3 1. Okay, and or else let me create a new array like this, new array. Okay, if you do this array dot paste or anything like 12, and if you just try to print this console out, console dot log array, okay, it will give you output of what? In the array you can see this particular test value has been added. Yes or no? So in the same way your min and max would be added in this. Now everyone got this, right? That's why we have taken this meanwhile or maxwell, or you can also write like this, mean and max. It's not your inbuilt function to be for your information, right? Okay, so we have just declared one variable. Okay, inside that particular thing, see, deep key and value are part of your what? Object, right? This is not your object, this is an array. array is also one kind of object, but this is a array object, right? है ना? So in that particular thing, you don't have key and value. You have index and value in this. If you have remember the array class, right? So I'll just take one value right now, and in that particular one value, I'll check that whether my length, that is my array dot length, is having one value or not. If my array is having only one value, then 3 is my minimum, 3 is my maximum, and I'm returning that when wherever my function has been called, right? So I have to write this after this. Okay? Let demo I can perform on 3 limit. Okay, okay, cool. I'm just checking, Vishu. I'm just checking whether my array is having only one element or not. If it's not having one element, then I'll write later code later on, like else. Okay. So let me first complete, guys. Okay, because right now I'm not understanding like in which particular point you have a doubt. So I thought that you have a doubt in this particular new array. I have explained that. Is there anything else that is bothering you? Rupesh, I just explained why we have used min and max, because this is a element of your array, है ना? This is your custom element, right? Okay, see, in that particular thing, I have declared this array dot test like this one, है ना? It will be added like this. Similarly, in this particular case, min max array would be added in the like min and max value would be added in the min max array. Okay, am I okay till this particular point, guys? Am I okay till this particular point? है ना? So since I have returned this min max, I have to handle here. This function will be returning my min max, right? So I have to declare one more variable here also, right? Such as min and max. Okay. Now this min and max would be pointed. This is my local variable, right? है ना? This this is my local variable inside this function. So after this will be executed, this function, this particular would executed. This will be when, right? We have seen this. We have, yes or no? So intentionally I have used the same name so that you can revoke your confusion in your mind. Am I making sense, everyone? Okay, so this is your local that would be rely only inside this particular function. It would be mean that. Am I audible now? Okay, am I audible now? Am I audible now? Right. Okay, so I was telling that since running from this particular find max function, right? That is why I have to hold it down in one local variable. I have named the same name like this so that I can remove, like I can solve your confusion that this min and max array would only have existence between this block only, since it has declared inside this, right? After it executed this particular closing curly bracket, this entire variable of this min max length, this would be vanished, right? It will not have in your memory. That is why I just named another variable. It can return like whatever you are written, it can hold inside this. You can min and max dot min and max. Okay. Okay. Still, it's for everyone. It's breaking. I think my internet is pretty good. I'm not sure why. Still, it's breaking, guys. Oh, just a second. Just a second. Let me check. Okay. Okay. I have changed the network. I have changed the network. Am I like now you can like now you can audible? Now am I audible? Now you can hear to my voice, right? I have changed the network, so don't worry now. I'm not sure what was the issue. That might be with the platform also. Okay, I'm not sure because my internet was pretty good, like it's more than 100 Mbps. Okay, so now I'm repeating again about this. This min and max will have the scope inside this only. This min and max will have scope at every point of time in the program. Okay, because it's declared globally. I hope am I okay with this particular point? This was discussed in the closest class. Sorry, in the hosting class. Closest is just to cover, right? Okay, fine. So now let's check with the particular three variable. Okay, I have just one input, so it will have it will go inside this if block. It will read. Am I audible? Am I audible now? Okay. So it will call this particular three. Three will be called with this particular find max input. And this input would be copied in this array. This min max would be initialized with the empty array. This length would have only one value because we have just one element inside our array. This if statement would executed true, it will go inside this. It will assign a new element inside this particular min max array that is called as min. It will have array of 0, that is your what, 3. Similarly, in case of max, it will return this when wherever my function has been called. So my function was called here. It will return min max here. It will get assigned to this min max. This min max dot min will fetch the value which was assigned here, and this max would be fetch value which was assigned here. Right? Let's check. Am I okay till this particular point with the one value, so that we can move further? Got this execution, right? So now let's check with the value where what if my array is having two values. What if my array will have the two values, right? So in that particular case, in that particular case, this length equals to 1 would give me false, right? If I have 3 and 4, so this would be giving me false, right? It will not get executed, right? At that particular time, I'll just check whether my array of 0 is greater than array of 1 or not. Okay, so basically I'm checking 3 is greater than 4 or not. Okay, if it's greater than, then we'll do something. If not, then we will do something, right? Okay, now what if my array of 0 is greater than array of 1? Okay, so at that particular time, what will be my min max dot min? This is particularly case where you have this particular value 10 comma 5. Okay, so now you can observe that your minimum value, like array of 0, that is 10, is greater than 5. So your minimum value is what? Array of 1, right? है and your maximum value is what? Okay, your maximum value is what? Array of 0, right? Yes or no? Right? Okay, now what if I have 5 and 10? Okay, like this 5 comma 10. In that particular case, what would be your minimum and maximum? Your max would be, sorry, let's say like your mean. Okay, your mean would be what? Array of 0, and your max is array of 1. Correct? Yes, है and and for every other case, for every other case, what would be your case? So see, if my element, if my array is holding one value, I have handled that. If my array is having two values, I have handled that here, right? So let's say I am writing array is having one value. Okay, and here your, what if my array is having two values, right? Now what will be my case if I am having more than two values? For every other case, more than two values, such as like 100, 500, 50 values, right? Okay, so in that particular case, I'll just check here, and I will start my index from what? Can anyone tell me? Suppose I have my original array now. Let's say it was my 3, 1, 31, and 6, I guess so. 31 and 6, right? So at that particular time, at from which index I should start? Because see, if I having one value, I have handled. If I'm having two values, I have handled, right? Yes or no? So I'll start my index from 2. Correct? Yes, Raja, that's correct. Okay. So I'll start my index with the 2. and I will declare my variable called as let iteration itt equals to 0 here. Okay, I'll assign this particular variable called as itt, that's iteration. For iteration itt equals to 2. Itt is less than what? Array dot length, and I have declared already my array dot length at this particular length variable. Yes, length and itt plus plus, right? Right. Now inside this, what I have to check? I have to check for every element, for every iteration. Let me make it big, something like big screen, so that you can see for entire code. Just a second. Okay, so you can see now that for every element I have to check whether my this element is maximum or minimum from min or max or not. Okay, so it does mean that if you cannot see, you cannot see. Okay, wait a second, I'm sharing my screen again. Okay, don't worry. Okay, now you can see, you know. Okay, so Nirja, I have started with the 2 because what if your values, whether your element of length is 1, we have handled. If your element is having 2 elements, we have handled. But what if we have more than 2? That is right now handling, right? So if you're having 3 and 1 or 31, like see, this 4 variables, then 3 and 1 would be anyway handled by this, right? 3 and 1 would be anyway handled by this, and after this 31 you will be handled by this one. Okay, let me complete this, I'll explain. Okay, Priyanshu says why we not using else if. So we are not using else if, Priyanshu, because uh, if we are using else if, then this 3 and 1 would be separated. I'll explain. Okay, let me just complete it. I'll explain this with debugger. I'll explain this. Okay, don't worry. So now right now I'm explaining that. Okay, let me first clear your doubt. Okay, otherwise it would be waste of time for you, Priyanshu. Okay, so I don't want that you guys can have confusion of that. Okay, I want that if I'm writing something, that's this line would be immediately comes up in your mind that why I have written that. Okay, so right now I'm explaining in my way that how why I have written this code. Okay, so I guess you are fine with this particular elements. If you have just one element, you are okay with that particular point, this particular if execution, right, Priyanshu? Okay, now think about it, like that. If you have any like only one element, that is already handled. But if you have more than one element, let's say 3, 131 and 6. Okay, so my min and max value should get initialized with something, right? In that particular case, my min and max value should get initialized with something, so that I can check later on. Okay, I have to compare it with something else now. That if suppose I have 31, that then I have some value to compare. If I'm having minimum value as 1, then 30, like for 31 there should be some base case to compare, right, Priyanshu? Otherwise I can not go beyond it, right? From where it will compare. Okay, okay, wait a minute, I'm sharing one note. Let me share. I'll just take the snippet of the code that I have already written. Okay, I'm glad that you have asked at that particular point, so that everyone can understand. Okay, so now I'm just copying the code. I'm just copying the code whatever I have just written right now. Okay, now you can see my OneNote screen. Yes or no? Can you see with the OneNote screen, everyone? Okay, so Priyanshu, please understand now with utmost attention as you can pay off, right? 31 and 6. Forget about this particular case because this is already been cleared. For every other case, not for like I have written this particular two values because it will just work for this particular two elements, but it will get executed every element, like for this particular 4, 5 or 2, greater than 1, for every element it will be get executed. Yes or no? Think about it. If my element is greater than 1, then every time this will be executed or not. If it's equals to 1, then it will be written from this particular line. If not, then I have to execute something else, right? Priyanshu? अरे मतलब basically what I mean to say, don't create no mess here. What I mean to say that forget about this one, na? I should have declared this at the last because you are pointing like you are mistaking this up. Okay? So right now think about this that if you have to call like 100, ठीक है, अगर मैं बोलूं कि 100 मिनिमम है कि मैक्सिमम है, हाउ विल यू आंसर? आप बोलोगे कि if my base element is 1000 then it's minimum, if my base element is 50 then it's maximum, right? So you have to get these values na for comparison, otherwise आप कैसे compare करोगे, right? If I'm just telling them some random number like 225, tell me 225 is maximum or not, how can you say yes or no? Yes or not, guys? Forget about this entire code, है ना? Forget about this entire code, I'll explain that, okay? Don't worry. Okay, Priyanshu, I'm saying that please answer my question right now that I have value 520. Please tell me this 520 is maximum or not. Can you please raise your hand, Priyanshu? It will be helpful for everyone. Can you please raise your hand? It will be helpful for everyone. Yes, there is no comparison, right? But if I tell you that you have, okay, please come on mic, Priyanshu. Now, everyone, please pay attention. You don't have to remember this code, like don't have to see on this particular code. I'll explain each and everything again. Okay, Priyanshu, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that if you just have this particular one number, let's say 520, right? So there is nothing to compare. So you
Right.
cannot compare this element, right? But let's say if I have in my min, in my max, if I have in my min I have 10, in my max I have 30, right? Let's say. So now if I'll tell you that 520 is maximum or not, so we will compare this element with the max, whether this particular 520 is your current element is greater than your maximum element or not. If it's written yes, then this will be your new maximum. Yes. So you will
Right.
assign this max equals to current, right? So whatever your current value was, it will be assigned in the max for future use. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. Right.
है ना? Similar case goes for minimum, right? You will compare whether your current element is less than minimum element or not. If yes, then you will assign your current element to minimum. Am I making sense? This particular 2 points. Everyone, am I making sense? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
है ना? Okay. So now let's come up with this particular array that we have taken 3, 1, 31, and 6. Okay. Now 3, 1, 31, and 6. Okay. So forget about the base case that I have already taken for one value. Okay. Forget about that. Now I'll do for comparison value of min and max, since uh, I don't have any value in this particular min and max. So I have to assign something na, in this particular min max to compare every element. Like I have to iterate for every element na, that
Right.
whether 3 is my max or not, or mean or not. How will you compare if you don't have this one? So for this particular value, initially it will be undefined. Initially it will be undefined. To put some value for comparison, I have told you that you have to compare your first element to second element. So you have to compare whether the array of 0 is, see, we have written the same thing here, whether the array of 0 is greater than your second element or not. Yes. So if yes, then what you have to do, your first element would be what, your maximum. Your max is what, array of 0, and your min is what, the second element.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
If not, then your max is what, array of 1, and your min is what, array of 0. Am I making sense, everyone, right now? है ना?
Yes.
So after this particular execution, you will be having some value inside this min and max for later comparison. Yes.
Okay, but the question is like, if it will go in if loop, if the above condition, if condition will satisfy,
Which one? In
like
the
in
code?
this code, if
Uh-huh.
length is equal to 0, if this condition satisfy, if length is equal to 1, only if
Okay.
this condition satisfy, it will create minimum and maximum variable,
No,
variable
no.
new array.
See. I told you na that. See, let me clear this up so that you can see it properly. So, so now see, have like did I compare anything in this particular block?
No,
I have assigned, right?
right?
So
But
what?
it will only assign if it is above condition, if condition will satisfy.
Yes,
Otherwise, it will,
yes. It will just like go inside this if where when your array will hold only one element like this. It will
right.
not get satisfied in every other case, है ना? Except this, it will not get satisfied in any of the case, है ना?
So still we don't have any min and max in our
Yeah, but we
array,
don't need na in this particular thing. We don't need min and max.
right?
Do you want to compare anything inside this?
No,
No, right? You just have to tell na that this is your max, this is your mean. That's all.
right,
And where in every other case you need min and max to compare elements, है ना? Here you have to
right.
compare with every elements. Here you don't need. That is why I don't have initialized min and max here. Here you need it. That is why I have explained. Am I making sense, everyone? Yes or no?
Right.
Right?
So my
Everyone,
question
everyone
was
else.
like,
Yeah,
why we are not using else if here?
we are not using else if here because if you are using else if here, okay, if you are using this like else if here, then see what will be happening. Okay, just think. If your element is having one, then it will go here. Otherwise, it will go here. Okay, it will also work at the same way that right now. But if you will not write, then also it's good, na? See here we have returned it, so it will not have anything after this, है ना?
Right.
Yes or no? If you have not written this, then you can write else if and you can just return it after like in at the end of the your program. I hope
Okay.
am I making sense, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes.
Everybody got this? Why we have no? Why we have taken this much approach for assigning particular thing for later comparison, right? Because we have to compare every element with min and max. Okay, cool. So yeah, Priyanshu, you can drop now. So I hope I am clear with current execution what I just written in the particular case. Okay, Vikas, can you please post it out what you have? Okay, so I am explaining again, Vikas, with respect to that. Okay, if array contain two elements, then after if and else, so don't think about the two elements. Okay, if your array is having one element, then you have to think, and your array is having more than one element, then you have to think. There is not three cases here, there is only two cases here. Okay, right? I think you are confused, like you are confused by this comment, I think so. This comment I made because you have to initialize your particular mean and max for this particular two elements. That is why I've returned this comment. Okay, it's not true that it's not meaning that you just have two elements then it will work. Okay, it's not true. Okay, Likit. Okay, so now for will it raise error? Okay, let's see. It will not, but we'll see. Yes, sir. My doubt is also the same, but I can find the words. Okay, you can come up in the mic because after the execution, you can come up in the mic. Okay, I'll explain that for you. Don't worry. Okay. So now let's compare. Like right now we have our mean and max variable right now for comparison later on. All right. Now we will compare every other element since I we have already checked who is max, who is mean with this particular two elements. So I don't have to iterate with this particular two elements again, right? That is why I have written two here because if you have revise the yesterday's class, then see, this is your zeroth element, this is first, second, and third, right? You know, so this 0 and 1 element we have already been checked, right? Now we have decided who is min, who is max. For later elements only, we have to decide who is my new min and new max. Whoever my new min, I'll assign that here. Whoever is my new max, I'll assign it here. Okay. Okay. So now let's check. Let's check now. Uh, for every element after the second element, for every element, I'm repeating that for every element after the second element, we will check whether my array of I is greater than or like is greater than my min and max dot min or not, or max or not. Okay, if it's max, then what I can say, my this is my new max, right? So min max dot max, sorry, itt, min max dot max is equals to what, array of itt, you know. Otherwise you need to check what, you need to check what, my array of itt is less than min max dot min. Yes or no? है ना? है ना? So if this is true, then min max dot mean is what? My array of itt. So can I say now it has been updated with, now it will be updated with new min and new max for every iteration after second. Why after second? Because 0 and 1 we have already been decided, right? है ना? So we need not to initialize here with the 0 or 1. Okay, we have to go after 1. Okay, because it will be waste of time, you know. And after this particular for loop, whoever my min and max, I have to return it. Okay, so now your code will be clear. So if your element is 1, you need to return min and max here. If your element is more than 1, like 2, 3, 4, 5, any elements, you have to execute this code and it will be returned by this. Okay, that is why I was telling that let me complete. है ना? Now got it ना? Priyanshu, Dipanshu, Ekta. Yes. So let's check whether it has any bug or not. Okay. Let's run this up. Let's refresh the page. Now see, my min is 1, max is 31. Cool. Right? Yes, Vikas, you got it now? Okay. So I thought that you had that particular confusion of this particular comment that I had just written of the two elements. You know? That's why I removed that. Can you print entire min and max? We have printed the min and max, like entire min and max, what, like it will just having two elements only, min and max, right? If you have to iterate through min and max, you can iterate by for loop. Okay, and you can just console out min and max dot of I or itt, whatever you want. Okay, will it be more optimized than the code with routine doubts? Yes, it is more optimized. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'll do that. Console.log min max, can we code without the new array? Okay, that's a second. Let me just do with this particular doubt first. Console.log min max. Okay, get this out. Fetch. You can see it's having array min and max. Okay, that's pretty simple. So now let's, can we code without the new array? Can we code without the new array, guys, or not? You can create, either you can create object here and you can just return object here. Like you have to return two things, right? So remember this thing, that every function in JavaScript can return only one thing. It cannot return two things. It can only return this min or max at a time. If you are doing the, we are working with the variables. Right now we are working with the arrays or objects, है ना? So you can return, you can bind this particular two elements inside this array and you can return the array, but you cannot return this min and max individually, है ना? So you have to take the new array or new some space for this. If not, then you have to get rid of this function and you can just declare two variables, min and max, and you can just print it out min and max. You can also go with that approach. Okay, difference between, there is no difference, Likit, as I already explained that in brief in the arrays. This new array is a type of constructor way. This is the first one is a literal way. Okay, If I assign min max array 0, min max array 0 before loop, then it will not require to put special case. Yeah, it will not have, because it will anyway return after this. No, it will not execute anything after that if you have just have one value. All right. So I'll just copy this code. I'll just copy this code and I'll just paste it down in your VS Code repo. Let me paste that. Just a second. Today's date is 23rd. Guys, I have uploaded the previous class or not? Can anyone remind me? I think I have I have uploaded. I don't know. Okay. So can you remind me I have uploaded or not? Yes, in GitHub, right? Okay, fine. Can you share this program? Yeah, I will share it as every other class. All right. Okay. So now, uh, okay, fine. Any doubt? Any doubt in this particular point? Yeah, I'll share that, Ritik. Don't worry, I'll share that. Okay. Navneet. Okay, Navneet has some doubt. I think so. Okay, so we are asking your approach is optimized or not. Let me open your doubt. Okay, so see guys, in this particular thing, what Navneet has what Navneet did is, I cannot read it through, but I will try. I listen minimum equals to this. Yes, yes, you can also do this. You can also do this. Nothing. I plus plus. Fine. You can do this. Okay, no problem. Sir, can you? Okay, fine. Line number 34. Okay, line number 34 in my problem. Let me see in what is my line number 34. Okay, fine. I'll share my screen again. I think I'm not shared. Who was that? Raja. Okay, Raja. In the line number 34, I didn't did anything else. I have just called this function find max with this particular input that I already declared in the topmost of the code. You know, it will work, and if my element is 1, then it will return by this. If not, then it will return from this. Okay, we can, yeah, we can, you can do any optimization in this, but this is what the concept is. Okay, right now. So why we have used so many lines instead of a shortcut method? uh See, Mehak, at the end of the day, if you are working with some language such as C, okay, in C, I think in the string or in the numbers, they don't have any option, or they don't allow to use a default method. If you also go in the particular dynamic programming or any competitive programming, na, they'll not allow to use any inbuilt library. Okay, so that's why we solve this particular method problem with the from logic, not from the internal library functions that such as sort and all. Okay, min and max name can be different. Yeah, it can be. It can be. You can name anything. You know, it's just a variable. Okay, you can also name it something here like your output. Okay, like your output. Okay, it will also result in the same way. Output and also output. Okay, I just I intentionally use the same name so that I can explain. Okay, output r not r. And check here 31. Okay, okay, Raja, am I clear now? I have changed the name also. Okay, so now, do you guys want break or you want me to continue with the second problem? Okay, so now I'll just do what, I'll just explain the second problem's question, or else just take a break. Okay, just take a break. Just take a break, we'll come back after the break and I'll explain that later. All right, so we'll take break till like it's 9:25, so we'll take break for 15 minutes. It's 9:40. Okay, so Nilanjan, if I'll now explain a problem now for 5 minutes, I think everyone will, like, I have to explain again after break also. Okay, so why to waste this 5 minutes? That's why I'm taking break right now, and I'll explain the problem again. Okay, please show the code. I'll what I'll do, I'll just copy the code and I'll paste this inside the browser. Okay, and I'll also give you the GitHub link of this also. Okay, don't worry. So we'll take break till 9:40. Cool. Come back after the lunch, after the dinner. Sorry. Okay, now I'm audible. I'm audible. Okay, guys, welcome back. So I was telling that Vaibhav, I have read your comment. See, it's just a matter of fact that if you are comfortable making notes offline, like handwritten codes on paper, then it would be like much more effective. But personally, I would feel that you have to try the programs on computer as well as you have to like mixture of both. You have to take that. Okay, if you like make note of everything, what the problems we have covered, how we have solved of every other class, then it would be much more effective. Like it would be really helpful. Okay, I'll say. Anyway, so we'll start with the second problem that for today, that is related to the again the concept of the loops and iteration. Okay, so now my question is for everyone. Let me take my tab. Just a second. Okay, so now my question would be for all of you that we'll quickly no we'll move forward, like we'll not step we'll take one step at a time, we'll not take too many steps at a time, so don't worry, we'll not rush through the topics. Okay, so my question for now would be that guys, if you know, like if you buy stocks today, okay, suppose if I'll tell you that you have a stock of Reliance, okay, or let's say the most suitable example for this case would be Yes Bank. Yes Bank is a type of a bank, okay, company which is running a bank business. Back in 2 years, like back from 2 years, the bank like this price of Yes Bank was approximately 300 to 400 rupees. Okay, and after the COVID or like midterm of the COVID, the scam of the promoters of this particular bank had come out in the from in the public, and everyone was selling the stock, and it was came to near to 5 rupees. Okay, now it like right now it's trading approximately 12 to 13 rupees. Okay, right. Okay, so now if you have some luxury to know that when to buy a stock and when to sell a stock, so you will make a pretty good amount of profit, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone is telling that stock market is pretty risky because you don't know when to buy and when to sell, right, ultimately. But for any cow, you will know that when to buy and when to sell. Let's say buy in low, sell in high. That's the like typical formula of to make a profit. Yes or no? है ना? If you buy at low price, let's say if you buy at 5 rupees and if you sell at 300 rupees, so 295 would be mota your profit, है ना? So my question would be now that suppose at day zero, let's say your stock price is 100 rupees. Okay, at day one your stock price is 180 rupees. At day two, it's again went to 260 rupees. At day three, it again boosted to 310 rupee. At day 4 it came down and it drastically fall at like 40 rupee. Then at day 5 it's 535 rupee, and day 6 it's like 695, it's maximum. Okay, so if you have some chart like this, I'll ask you that hey, can you please tell me when to buy and when to sell so that I can make a maximum profit of this particular week. Okay, so let's say for an example, if you are a beginner, or if you don't know anything about the stock market, or if you are struggling with the particular thing, then you will ask me that, sir, every time every time we have to see whether our buying price is greater than the maximum price, like 100 is less than 180, right? So you will sell, but you know that there is again 260, there is a rapid high in the stock, है ना? There is an increment in the stock till this particular point. After this your stock is falling, right? So you'll buy it this day. If you sell it this day. Again, you will buy it this day and sell it this day. So you will make a particular like maximum profit. है ना? Yes. So every time you have to make a particular common formula so that you can generate a pretty decent amount of profit, right? So that is your particular question for today. So can I say that like let me take this particular values in the array. Okay, so 100, then 180, 260, 310, 40, 535, 695. Okay, this was your particular question. You know, it was nothing but it's indicating that stock prices. Okay, okay, so you have to buy in low, sell in high to generate a maximum profit. That is your question. Okay, so I'll just give you a particular insight in that. Let's say, so now it's not a thing that it can be implemented in anything. There is some prerequisite in that. Okay, it's not like that you will buy at no, that's 5 rupees and you will sell at 300 rupees and this 295 will be your profit. But for this 295 rupee on your pocket, it should be known that 5 rupees would be your buying price, 300 rupees would be your selling price, that would be ended in the future, since you can predict your future. This particular formula can't be implemented in the real life. Okay, for this particular case, these values of 0, 1, 2, third day, fourth day, fifth day, and sixth day. Out of this, you need to decide that if you have bought your stock at 100, sell at 310. Okay, that was your profit 210. Now 40, your buying price, 695 would be your selling price. So again, this was your profit. So you have to add this particular two profits, and whatever the answer would be, it will be known as your max profit. Am I clear with the question? Okay, everyone, am I clear with the question? ठीक है ना? Okay, so now I'll just give you a hint of that. Okay, I'll just give you a hint of that. Every time whenever you are iterating. Okay, Nilanjan, the question is like, this is your days: 0 day, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day. This is your stock prices. You need to decide at which particular point of time, if you have bought your stock, and at which particular time you have sold your stock, it would generate a maximum profit. For an example, if you have bought at 100, sold at 310, if you again bought at 40, sold at 695, okay, you can generate your profit. So you have to decide like how much profit you have generated in the during the week. So for that, now understand the question, Nilanjan. Question is clear, Nilanjan, for you? Okay, so for every time you have to iterate through the array. Okay, you have to iterate through the days, and you have to check whether your second day's price, let's say your array of 1, so your second days of price is less than the first days of price or not. So for an example, your in this particular case, your 180 minus this, if greater than, right? So you have to check first whether your 180 is less than 100 or not, or like 100 is less than 180 or not, है ना? In the reverse way, either way. If yes, then you can say that this is your profit case, right? This is low, this is high, so this is the case of your profit. Yes or no? Yes, na? So you have to add that particular difference in the profit, and you have to return that for every time. You have to just do repeat this process, and you have to return that for every time. Okay, if for those who have not understood this particular approach, you have to not copy my approach, you have to come up with your approach, right? So I'll just give you 5 minutes to think, and for the approach how we can implement this thing to find maximum profit. Okay, so we have to, at the end of the day, we have to find the maximum profit of this. Okay, I hope now I am clear with the particular points, every points. Okay, give me array value. Okay, so yeah, I'll just write the array values. Okay, I'll just write the array values, just a second. Or else, let's say, for an example, 100, 180, 180, then 260, 110, then we have 40, 535, and 695. Okay, these are your array values. These are your stock values that you have currently. You need to find, okay, you need to find what will be your maximum profit. Okay, what will be your maximum profit? Okay, so I have pinned the question. How many times you can buy? As many of time you want, Arpit. Okay, can you explain the equation again? So question is pretty simple, Deepak. You have to buy in low. These are the stock price. You have to buy in low and sell it high. So you need to find what will be your maximum profit in that particular case. Okay, we need to calculate days, correct? No, you cannot. We can use else if you can use anything. I just want approach. Okay, so I'll just give you 5 minutes to think of this. Okay, take your time. Don't worry. Take your time. After that, I'll explain once again what will be my approach. Okay. So this 9:20, 9:52 will be back at 9:57. Exit 5 minutes. Cool. I have pinned down the question and the what will be the what is required in the output. All right. Take your time. Okay, guys, can I say, guys, time up, time up. Can I say, come back? Can I say कि I can generate the maximum profit if I know that, suppose I have bought my stock at 100. Okay, am I audible, right, for everyone? So I have bought my stock at 100. At the second day, my stock price went through 180. So if I sell my stock here, let's say 180 minus 100, so 80 would be my profit. Okay. So for entire week I can do, I'll just do one thing, है ना? I'll just check whether my this day's price is greater than this day's price or not. Sorry, less than this day's price or not. If yes, then I have to sell that, and I need to minus this two. This 80 would be my profit. For entire week I can sell. I can take, I can take this example. Yes, है ना? So I can generate a maximum profit from this. Okay. So similarly, what I'll do now, I just go directly. Didn't get Mac. Okay, let me explain. So Mac, I was telling you that, let me just delete this down, and let my array would be, let's just copy from what I have just written in that. I cannot copy in that. Just a second. I'm just doing that. Okay. So now my values are what? 100, then 180, then what? We have taken this 260, 310, then we have taken 40534 and 695. So can I say, Mehak, that if I buy my stock, if I buy my stock at 100, at the second day I'll check whether my stock price has increased or not. If it has increased, I'll sell that stock. है ना? Okay. At the second day, like, I'll just continue till the end, from the entire day, from the entire week. I can repeat this process and I can generate the profit, right or not? Yes. So I'll just create a function for that. Let's say function, let's say find profit. Okay. Inside that, I'll just take the example of, like, I'll just take input as my array. Okay. As previous example, I'll just take length of that array dot length. Okay. Now, to find, to go with each and every element, I need to iterate through it. Okay, right? So I need to iterate through it. I'll just do iteration equals to 0, iteration less than length, and iteration plus plus. Okay, I can also do like this, like second element I can also compare with the first element. Okay, so I'll just start it with the first element. Okay, so this is my 0th element. This is my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So I, since I need to minus 180 or need to compare 180 with 100, I'll just start my element with first element, not the 0th one. Okay. Now I'll just compare whether my array of iteration, that is my first element, is greater than my element array of iteration minus 1, that is my 0th element. Yes or no? So it will basically compare what? 180, 180 greater than 100 or not? है ना? Everyone? Okay. So if this is the case, then I'll just initialize my variable called as profit is equals to 0. Okay, I'll initialize this to 0. If this is the case, then I need to assign with profit with what? Difference of these two, 180 minus 100, right? So I'll just take difference of these two. Correct? Yes or no? है ना? And I'll just return whatever my profit after this, not this much. Yeah, I need to return this also, right? So I'll just return my profit every time. Yes or no? Sorry, we need to update here. Okay, so profit is equals to profit plus, we need to update, right? So profit equals to profit plus, right? Yes or no? Okay, am I clear up to this point? Okay, and yeah, this return should be out of the for loop. Okay, am I correct now? Now let's take this array. This array is already been defined. Let's call this find max with the array. Okay, and we will check or we will just hold it down. Like since it is returning me the values of this, we'll hold it down in the output variable. Okay, we have to have something. It should be hold it, right? So console dot log output. Let's see what will be my output. Okay, find profit. Correct. Okay, so sorry about it. Find profit. Okay. Now let's check it. I is not defined. Where I have defined I? I not I. It's ITT. Okay. Now let's run. See, it's 865. It's giving correct result. Right. Okay. So it's pretty simple, sir. If we had, then we should subtract it. Okay. So it's asking me how. Okay. Let's debug this. Okay. Let's debug this. No worries. If I just run this up now, guys, please quickly no focus. Okay, so right now what we did, we have just initialized our array. We have called this particular function find profit. Okay, so array is copied with here. Okay, so now my array dot length is what? 7. Depends, I'm explaining. Okay, please pay attention right now. So my days are what? 7. Yes or no? Okay, now I'm again going inside the loop. I have started my element with the 1 so that I can subtract my second element with the first element. You can also start it with 0, and you can also accordingly change your particular indexes here. It should be, if you're starting with 0, then it should be index plus 1 and index, right? But right now I started with 1, so I'm just checking whether my 180, this is my array of iteration, is what? My 180. So 180 is greater than greater than my 100 or not. It's iteration minus 1, that is my 0th element, right? So it's checking, it's giving me like it's inside the element because my 180 is greater than 100, right? So it's like this should be what? 80. Profit is my already 0, so it should give me what? 80, right? Correct? Right? Okay. Now in the second iteration, I will move my day with the one iteration so that my day will be second, right? In the second iteration, I'll check whether my array of, so see, if you want to run this now, then it's better that you can run uh, over the Chrome so that I can show you the runtime values also. Okay, because in the Mozilla it's quite difficult to show that. Okay, let me, okay, now let me share my screen of the Chrome. Can you see this particular tab? Okay, just a second. I think so it will not, right? So just a second, I'm just opening the, not Brave, Chrome only, right? Wait. Okay, now you can see the Chrome or not? Can you guys, can you confirm? No? Oh, why? Let me reshare it. Just a second, I think so there is some mistake here. Chrome, new tab, console. Wait a minute. Okay. So yes, now I guess it should visible to you, all of you. Okay, I'll increase the font size. Okay, I'll just make it some big. All right, so I have copied the code right now with the debugger on, right? Visible to all of you. Okay, let's run it. So we had made the 80 rupee profit at the first day. You can see 80 here. The second day, I have increased my iteration, right? I should give it the name as day. Okay, it should be proper name, right? So we'll rename this as day. Now we'll check again whether my second day is less than second 7 or not. It's giving me true. It will enter again here. Just hover on it. It's giving me 260, which was not giving in the Mozilla, right? That's why I moved in the Chrome. I hope you got my point. Correct? All right. So now you are checking again whether my 260 is greater than the 180 or not. Okay, we are comparing with this to this. First of all, we have compared 180 with 100, and now we are comparing 260 with 180, right? We are checking since it's greater than 260 is bigger number than 180. So we will just take out the profit of again the 80 rupee, right? Okay, if you just over on this, then your profit is what? 80 rupee. 80 rupee will be added in what? 80 rupee. Okay, because initially at the day one we have made a profit of 80. 80 plus 80 would be what? 160. Correct? At the day 3, okay, at the day 3 we will be again comparing 31 to 260, right? So this is what? My 310. This is what? My 260. Yes, everyone everyone is with me right now, है ना? Okay, so 50 rupee will be my profit of today, right? At that particular day 50 rupee will be my profit. Yes, so 50 will be added in what? 160. So it's what? 310. Sorry, 210 right now, right? At the day 4, since my this value, that is my what? Array of this one iteration is what right now? 4, right? So array of 4 is what? My 40. So I'm comparing my 40 is greater than the previous element of that is 310 or not. It's not, right? So at that particular day we should not do anything, not buy, not sell, right? So we did not do anything. We have increased the day. Now tomorrow I'll do what? I'll just compare with my today's price is 534, and my yesterday's price of my stock was 40, right? Right. So I'm comparing that to, and so 534 is bigger number than 40, so it will enter in the loop. We have just subtracted that, so 494, that is my biggest profit till day, because 40 was my minimum number, right? Okay, so this will generate a maximum profit. Okay, and 534 is bigger till now, right? So it will be added in what? 210. New profit that we have made till now, till date, is what? 704. Yeah. At the final day, we'll check whether my 695, that is my current day's price, is greater than the previous day's price or not. Okay, that is 534. If yes, then we have to make a profit by selling the stock, and it will make 161 profit. It will be added in the previous profit that will be generated in the 865, right? Okay, and we have to return the profit so that we can pin the output as 865. I hope this execution is pretty much clear. Yes or no? We have to just no make the name of this as my day, not iteration, right? Okay, I'll just copy this particular code and I'll paste this inside the VS code. All right, then see the comments. Let's see the comments. 513 minus 40. Yeah, 494. True. So am I clear up to this point? Like this question is clear? 534 minus 40, not 4. It's 40. 494, it should be deducted, right? It should not deducted, it should be added. Sorry, 40. But that particular day you have bought the stock. You have not sold the stock, right? At that particular day, you did not did anything, something new, right? So this was my Mozilla screen. Let's close the debugger. Okay, now, but accumulated two stocks, we should sell at 310 and buy again 40 to make max profit. Yes, yes. So according to the stocks. Yeah, so see, I have just taken the example of stocks. Okay, I can also tell something like this, that you have values of this particular device, and you have to you have to just find, you have to just buy something at the maximum level, and you have to just sell something when you find something is going down. Okay, I can also see like this. I just given the stock as my example. It's not a proper logic in the algorithms in the stock market. Okay, can you do the last three elements debug again? Okay, for sure. So you see in the last three element, that is 40, 534 and 695. Okay, so in that particular case we'll just check whether my 534 is greater than 40 or not. If yes, then we have to make we have to find the profit of this. How to find the profit of this? 534 minus 40, and we have to add that particular amount in the current profit, similar to the final case, right? Okay, Mac, am I okay till this point? Guys, am I okay till this point? Okay, so now I'll just ask one more question to you, one more simple question to you, for everyone. Since this question is clear to you, since this question is clear to you, if I'll ask, if I will ask that, sir, I have this value such as 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, this is my input. If I'll give you this input, I can, I have to generate a output in that such a way that I have zeros in one side, ones in right side. Okay, logically we will deduct 40 from 534, then the value would be added to profit, so it will be negative. No, it will not enter in the loop na, Mike. If you have saw, if you have seen the code, okay, it will not enter in the if condition na. See, this was my code, Mac, this was my code. Yes or no? Okay, so you can see this condition. What this condition is saying, you have to just do something when you find this value is greater than this value, then only. Okay, in case of this what, 534 and 40, since like, and 310, okay, so this 40 is not bigger than this, you will not lose something, right? Because we know the that tomorrow the price would be increase again, since this is a 534. Okay, Max, so in that particular case, it will not enter in this, and your profit would not get deducted, right? It will not loss. Am I clear, Mac? Okay. So now everyone, I was telling about this particular point, this particular question, that uh, let me wait a minute. Please explain how you compute. So Rupesh, please, no, don't confuse in profit and loss. Okay. So what we have just did is, at the first day, if you have 100, if you find the maximum, or if you find the maximum profit of this, okay, so what you will do, you will find the second days of price. If I'll tell you that Yes Bank is today 5 rupee, tomorrow it will be 12 rupee, so you will do what? You will buy today and sell tomorrow. Why? Because I told you now that tomorrow's price is already known, right? So since tomorrow's price at is 180 is already known, and you have bought something at 100 rupee, so we'll sell it and generate 80 rupee profit, right? So that's why we have initialized this loop from the 1, not from 0. And if you have seen here also, it's like array of 1 greater than array of 0. Okay, so the left side value will be always greater than from the left side, the index value I'm talking about. Okay, okay, so you have to find the particular indexes of that, you have to find particular values of that, and according to, you have to decide whether you have to generate profit or not. Okay, in the previous example we have just not generated profit at the 40 only. Okay, otherwise we have generated profit at each and every day, right? Right, Rupesh? Rupesh, am I clear or not? for 40 case. I already explained, Rupesh, for the 40 case. If you have like if you still have doubt, let me show you once again. We can compute the total maximum profit, but we can't figure out which day to buy and which day to sell. So it's like predicting the future, Raja. We cannot predict the future, right? Okay, so this was the just the example of that. We cannot implement it in real stock market. Okay, so Rupesh, for you, suppose you have this. Okay, right? So you have bought at this. So how you will come to know that you have bought something at this and sell something at this? You will compare this 40 with 100, na? Right? Yes. So if this 40 is greater than 100, then and then only you have to add it in the profit. Otherwise, you don't have to add anything in the profit, right? As we already seen in the if condition in the code. I already explained it to the Mahek, right? Just now. Okay. So for the 40 case in our example, okay, you got it, na? Right? Okay, great. Okay. So now I was talking about now anyone have any problem in this so that we can move further. So are we comparing it with the profit as we move ahead? Not with the profit, na, Rupesh. You can see the code. It's not a profit. See, you can find here we are comparing anything with a profit. No, right? If this value is greater than this value, then only we can add in the profit and we have to return the profit. We are not comparing this particular profit at any point of time. I hope this particular point is clear to everyone. Priyanshu, Dipanshu, Ekta, Rupesh. Like, am I clear up to this point? Got it, na? Okay, fine. So, okay. So this was a particular problem in that we have discussed about the comparison, right? But now what I mean to say, and now whichever problem I'm discussing, don't come up with the approach of sorting, right? Okay, sort you don't have to use at any problem that I will be giving today, right? Am I clear up to this point? Okay. So now suppose if I have an array like this 0 1 1 0 1 and 0, right? Okay, now this is my input. Guys, please understand carefully this, that this is my input. I want my output as every zeros would be come on my left side and every ones would come on my right side. Okay, this is really important problem. It has been asked many times in the interviews and the competitive exams also, right? Okay, so you have to generate output something like this. Oh, look at, you have written the code. Okay, we'll check that. Okay, we'll not evaluate right now. Okay, first of all, tell me the approach. Tell me the approach. Don't come up with the code. Tell me the approach. What should I do? Okay, so see, I'm repeating the question again. I'm repeating the question again. That I have my question in the question. I have zeros and one combination of zeros and ones only. Okay, in the zeros, I want out in the output. I want all the zeros would come on my left side. All the ones would come on my right side. Okay, this is my simple question. Okay, so how to make this particular problem clear in the terms of the logic and the coding? I'm giving you again 5 minutes to think of. After that, we will brainstorm. I'll tell the logic. I will dry run the code and the logic, and then we will quickly move to the implementation part. Okay. Okay. So I'll just drop the array in the comment. So my array is what? 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 0. Right. This is my array. All zeros in left and all ones in right. Okay, this should be my output, right? Loop array, if 0 then keep it, if 1 then delete it. No, I'll not allow to delete anything. Instead of delete and add at the last, you can just swap it, na, like it partially you are right, but instead of delete, Delete is like pretty expensive operation for everyone, those who don't know, right? Delete and adding is pretty much expensive operation, so I'll not suggest to do that. Okay, think something else. I'll give you the 5 minutes to think of. We will be come back at 10:29, right? All right, so I'm audible. So guys are improvising day by day. That's great. You are guys are come up with a different kind of approaches. Okay. Uh, okay. So all right. So I'll tell you something. Many of you guys were partially correct. Some of you guys were correct, and some of you guys were totally wrong. Right. So see, many of you guys told me that, sir, we'll count the zeros and ones and we'll just insert in the new array. Okay. I don't want this new array because new array will require extra space, extra memory. I don't want to do that. Okay. That's bad practice. Okay. That approach is pretty much not preferable. You can implement that also. You can also generate the output, but that's not optimized output, right? I want the optimized output. Viva was pretty much close to that. All right. So what we will do, I'll just share my screen. Once it is visible, please tell me. Okay. Okay. So my screen is visible to everyone or not? My screen is visible to everyone. Yes. Okay. So fine. So see, suppose if I have my array like this. So guys, for 5 minutes, for give me just 5 minutes, for 5 minutes entirely, please listen to myself. You know, please try to understand what I'm saying, because this question is not just related to this question, right? This approach is not just related to this question. This approach is related to many questions. All right. So if you understand this approach, you can resolve many kind of problems regarding to this. Okay. Okay. So please pay attention. This is pretty important question. Don't miss this out at any single point of line. All right. So and okay, fine. So I'll not able to see your comments for now, just for 5 minutes. Okay. So please pay attention as of now, and then if you have any doubt, then you can ping me up. All right. I'll happy to more than happy to solve your doubt. All right. Suppose if you have array as 0 1 and 0 1 1, okay, and 0 0 1, let's say this much of big array we have. All right. And we have to find the output which is similar to this: 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. Previously we have just taken for 3, we are taking now with the 4. All right. Clear? Now, for every point of time, with every point of time, we have to see, okay, we have to see whether whether our 0, this location of 0, that is my first location. Okay. So I'll just create one particular so see, basically what I want, all zeros in left and all ones in my right. Yes or no? I want this much only, right? Yes or no? Yeah, okay. Now what I'll do now, we will make two pointers. We will make two pointers, uh which will be one will be on the left. Suppose like okay, I'll change it. Yes, so one will be at this much point. I'll call this as I. Okay, second would be on this point, that would be called as J. This is called as two pointers approach. Okay, this is similar to something called as two pointer approach. In the DSA, you will use this infinite times. Okay, so that's why I told you to understand it bit detail. Okay. So first is like we will start our iteration. We'll start our pointer from this point. Second is from this point. Okay. Now, if we found 0, if we find sorry, if we have 0 on left. Okay. If we have 0 on left hand side, then we will move pointer I, pointer I, move pointer I one step right. Okay. One step right. Similar to this, if we found, so it's making sense now that 0, if we found 0 here, so we need 0 only, right? So if we have 0, then we need not to do anything, we will just shift it to 1 here. Similar to at this case, on the right hand side we want 1, right? So if we find 1, or if we have 1 on the right side, then we have to move our J pointer one step left. Making sense till now? Making sense, everyone? Yes or no? Right. Now, now the problem occurs. The problem occurs when this I will be having at this point, that is 1, and J will have at this point, that is 0. Okay, so if you have 1 or you have 0 here, so you need to swap, right? So that 0 will become here, 1 will be go here. It's like win-win situation. J will be having its 1, I will be having its 0. Correct. So now we can say something like this, that if there is no 0, am I audible? Am I audible? I was disconnected, I think so. है ना? You can see my screen or not? No, right? So let me share it again. So we were at this particular point that if there is 0, you can see my screen right now. Okay, so if we have 0 on the left hand side, and if we have 1 on the right hand side, right? Right. So on that particular case, we have to swap both, right? Okay. Yes or no? Okay. Yes or no? Approach is clear. Approach is clear. Can you refresh your page? Everyone can hear me and listen to me, right? See me and listen to me, right? Okay. Approach is clear for everyone. So I'm repeating that if we have 0, then we need not to do anything. We will move this particular I to right hand side. Similar to particular this, but this J case. If we have 1 on right hand side, so we did not to do anything. We'll move the J pointer to left hand side. If we encounter 1 here, or if we encounter 0 here, in both of the case, so it's not like that. Suppose we have 0 here, right? Suppose we have 0 here, and here also we have 0. Okay, J pointer will move to the left. We have 0. Again we have 0 here in the I pointer. Since we have 0, we will make our I pointer to right hand side. It will have 0. J will be as it is. Okay, because J will have 0 right now. I will be moved to the 1. When I has having 1, when I is having 1 and J is having 0, then only we have to swap. Otherwise we need not to do anything. Am I clear up to this point? Crystal clear? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Okay. So we'll dry run first, because since this is a this will be used many times in your future. We'll dry run the code first, right? So initially in the step 1, this is my step 1. Okay, please focus for another 5 minutes now, because now we are dry running the code. It will be have much more clarity in this particular topic. Okay, so initially there is no 0 on the left hand side. So let me draw the array also, right? This is my array. 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. Then we had, I think so, 1 0 0 1, right? 1 0 0 and 1. Let's check it. The same value we had or not. 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1. All right, so we had this much of in the input. Yes. Now what we will do now, that we'll check first, check like I told you now, that this particular, just a second, what happened? Guys, am I audible? Am I audible, guys? Okay, so sorry, I think so there is something wrong with this platform. Anyway, so I told you now that we had initialized the I pointer here. We will initialize the J pointer here, right? Yes. Now we will check whether our I pointer is having 0 or not. If it's having 0, then we have to move right? So we can call this step as like initially there is no 0. So I'll just write so that you can also read through it later. Initially, we have 0 on I, right? So what we need to do, move pointer to the right. Okay, so we'll just move pointer to right. Correct? Okay. So now updated case is what? Updated case is what? This is my array 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, and 1. This is my case, right? And my I pointer is now is at this point. J pointer is at this point. Correct? Correct? Yes or no? Okay? Cool. Okay. Now we will check whether, now we'll check at this J point. Okay? Now we will check whether my J is having 1 or not. Right? Okay? Now we'll check whether see why we move to the J, because in the I we have 1, so we have to look for the 0 in the J, then only we can shift, then only we can swap, right? Okay. Okay, so if you got here also 0, then you don't know, need not to go in the J, because in the I there is 0, right? Okay, I'm repeating myself again. For an example, think about this case, that this is your question, right? If you have initialized your I pointer here, since you got 0, you will move your pointer I to this point. Again you have 0 here, you will move the pointer to the right. Again you have 0 here, you will move pointer to the right here. Then you have to, so once you will find in the I there is 1, then only you have to go and find for the 0. Otherwise you cannot swap, right? Am I clear? Am I making sense, everyone? Okay. Okay, so in this particular point you had this here 1. Okay, initially it was here. Okay, since it's having a 0 here, we'll move our pointer to the right. That will be here. Correct? Since we got 1 in I, we will find 0 in J. Right now J is at 1, so we'll move one step left. That is already been discussed. Correct? Yes or no? Okay, so for the J's case, I'll just write so that you can also read through the later. Since we got 1 in I, we have to find 0 in J, right? So now J is having 1, right? So we'll move our pointer to left. Can I say this? Can I say this? Which pointer? J pointer. Move our J pointer to left, right? Can I say this? है ना? Okay. So right now what will be my scenario? Updated scenario will be what? 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, right? 0, 0, and 1, right? And my I will be stated here, J would be stated here. Correct? Yes or no? Everyone got this? Everyone? Okay. Okay. Now, since we have 1 in I, since we have 1 in I and 0 in J, we need to do what? Swapping. Okay. We will swap each other. Yes. Correct or not? Everyone, I want answer from everyone. Please, please pay attention on this, because I cannot say how important is this. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Everyone. Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now we'll do what? Swap. Okay. Since the situation comes when left side is 1 and on the right hand side we have 0, so we need to swap both of them. So let's swap. All right. So we'll swap both of them. Okay. So now my new array would be something like this. Here 0, I was having at this point 1, J was having at this point 0. We had swapped both of them. Let me draw it so that you can read through it later. We will swap it. Okay, swap. Okay, so now what will be your new case is you have 0 here. This 1 would be as it is. This 0 would be as it is. This 1 would be as it is. This 0 would be as it is. With this 0 we had swapped. In this particular 0 at this place we have 1, and this 1 would be as it is, right? This operation is pretty much clear, right? Okay. Yes. So at this particular point, where will be my I and where will be my j? If I need to, like, we need to also increment our I and j, right? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So now my I pointer is now at what? My I pointer is now at what? There's 0, 0, 1 here. So I pointer is initially at this point. Now my I pointer is at this point. Yes or no? Yes or no? Oh, I think so sorry, so sorry. My I pointer will be not here. My I pointer will be here only. Okay. After this, I have to increment. Okay. So it would be went here like I. Okay. Since my I is having 1 now, my J pointer was here. Since my J is already having 1 now, J will be moved to the left hand side. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes or no? है ना? Right? Everyone? Cool. Okay. Now again the situation has come up, right? Since I have I and as 1, J as 0, let's swap it. So after the swapping, I will be having this 0, 0. This 0 will swap here. This 0, this 1 will be swapped here. 1 and 1. She swapped. Cool. Right? Approach has been clear. Dry run, we have dry run the code. So let's code it. Okay. Crystal clear na for everyone? For everyone it should be crystal clear, है ना? I should not have any 0.1% doubt in this particular approach. Okay, I don't want that. So yeah, okay, let's code. So where is our developer tools? Okay, okay, let's code this one. Okay, now what I'll do, please pay more attention in this particular point as well. Okay, because see, if you have observed in this particular case, let me share, this is pretty important as well. Okay, let me share once again my OneNote, because this is also something that should be discussed. See, can I say every time, like, when I should stop? See, after this operation, at which particular point my I would be land something here, j would be at what here? Yes or no? Right? Okay. After this, since I have I in my 0, j in my 1, so I'll do what? I'll just move one step right of my I, and one step left of my j, right? Again, this is also having, I is also having 0, j is also having what? 1, right? So I can also move my one step right of my I, so I would be here and j would be here. Correct? Yes or no? Yes or no? Everyone, please say yes or no. Right? So can I say this is my stopping criteria? Okay, can I say my when I is less than j, it will run fine, right? Okay, my loop will run fine till my I is less than j. But when my I is greater than j or equals to, like, greater than or equals to j, it should stop. Can I say this? Can I say this from this particular point? Okay, every time my I was less than j, it was running fine, right? But when I crosses the j, it should stop. Okay. Yes. Okay, so this would be my stopping criteria. right? Now let's code now. Okay, because I need to know. I will just, if I just write this one inside in the condition, you will all ask me the doubt. Okay, that's why it should be implemented beforehand. Now what I'll do, I'll just initialize my array. Okay, so my array would be what? Let array, I have taken the values at what? 0 1, then 0 1, then 1 0 0 1, right? 1 0 0 and 1, right? So sorry, it will be 1, right. now 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 what I'll do now, I'll just now check for the, I'll just initialize my pointers first of all, right? So I'll just initialize my pointer I is equals to, I should be initialized at what, at which point? This point, right? 0th point. And this at which point? The last point, right? So can I say my array dot length -1? Can I say this? Can I say this? You know? Okay. Now what I'll do, I told you that wherever my I is less than j, my loop was running fine. Yes. And when my I is greater than or equals to j, it should break. Can I say this? Yeah? So can I write the condition like this? While my I is less than j, it should run my loop. Okay? Yes or no? Okay, in the loops, I taught you that the first and foremost step would be the stopping condition. You have to find the stopping condition, right? That we already find. We have found that. Correct? Now, now let's move further. Now we will take the current element. Okay, so let current element is equals to, I'll take something as like in the first element. Okay, first element is my current element. Current element, and see, I can take this something as my current left element. Okay, so current left element is what? My array of 0, right? And I'll take my current right element. My current right element is what? My array of what? My j. Okay, because my j is standing at what? This particular point. Okay, so can I say my right element is my array of j? Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? Okay. Now, now for for now, we'll just check whether my, if what I taught you, what I have just taught you about the three condition in the I. If you have 0, if 0, then what? I plus plus, we have to move I to the right, right? Yes. And in the j, if you have 1, okay, let's remove, not suitable, right? So if in the j, if we have 1, then we need to do what? Move j to the left, correct? Yes. है ना? And third case is was what? If my I is having 1, and if my j, this is not minus, this I is equals to 1 and j is equals to 0, then you need to do what? Swap. Correct? This was my logic, right? This was my basic logic of this entire solution. So I'll just create it. So I'll just write it now, that if my current left element is equals to 0, then I need to do what? Move my I to the right. Correct? Right? Okay. Yes or no? If my current left element is what? 0, so then I need to do what? Current I plus plus, right? So I will move my I to the right. And similarly, else if I'll check what? My current right element. Okay, not else if, I'll just write if. Okay, current right element is equals to 1. Then I need to do what? J minus minus. How many of you guys got this particular point? Correct? We just wrote what we have just in the paper. Yeah, but what where and see the right. It will be case form. I cannot see any messages. Am I audible now? Hello. Guys, am I audible? Hello. I cannot see messages in my portal. Yes. Not find any kind of voice in my video, so I refresh the page. Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Audible? Okay, so I was just with the team. I think there is some issue with the platform. Anyway, I think I'm audible now properly, right? Any mistake? Any problem that you have? Okay, cool. Okay. So we were at this particular point where at we have if we have found 0, then we will increment our I. That means we will go one will move our I to the right. If we have 1 in the j, that means we will move our j to the left. If we have 1 in our left and 0 in our right, that means we need to swap. How many of you guys got this particular point? How many of you got this particular point? Clear na? Okay, so we'll write the swap logic right now. Okay, so in the swap logic, as we have told you, so in the array of, so right now I think you are clear with the swap logic, right? So I will not recalling that once again. Okay, I'll just write it down. Okay, current right element. Okay, in the array of j, will we have current left element? Okay, and in the uh, okay, so this is our swapping logic, and we'll just create I plus plus and j minus minus, right? Correct? Yes or no? Awesome, right? ठीक है. Again, still have voice lag. Please refresh your page if you have voice lag. ठीक है? ठीक है? Yes or no? Okay. Now, what we need to do now? We need to just print the array. Yes or no? We need to print the array now. Yes or no, guys? है ना? So just hold on for a minute, Mac. Just hold on for a minute, okay? So now what I'll do, console.log array, right? So let's see what it get print. You can see my array has been sorted. ठीक है? ठीक है? Yes. Okay, so this is something known as two pointers approach. Okay, because we have used two pointers at a time, right? One left, one with the right, right? This has got to the most easy to understand logic for this. Yeah, true. Okay, because we know we understood the logic first, then we did the dry run of the code. Then I just shifted to the this three condition. If these three conditions are clear with you, along with this condition, the stopping criteria, then you are, because we, if you see, we just wrote what we have just seen and observed, right? Okay, it's clear, right? It's beautiful code. Can you see, है ना? Right? So that you will not have face this particular situation. See, I equals to 1 and j equals to 1, it will not enter in the loop, right? Because see, what is the condition here? I is less than j. If I is equal to j, it will break, right? Cool. ठीक है? So Vaibhav, you were pretty pretty close to the solution, right? You are, I think so, you thought about this only, है ना? So 3 cheers for Vaibhav. Awesome that you thought about it. So now, from this particular point, I think okay, let me see what I can do now. Easy to learn, right? Yeah, great. So now what I can do, I'll just do one thing. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. If I have this particular thing, okay. Now, so if I'll ask you now that like this, let me open my OneNote, because I'll upload the code. I'll upload the code. You can try to compare with that. Okay. So now what I'll do now, will be the some syntax error only. Okay, because don't worry, it will be syntax error only. Okay, now suppose if I'll tell you to reverse the array without using the any inbuilt function. Don't let me reverse my array. Okay, I just want to reverse my array. Let's say if I have uh, any array like 1 2 3 4 5, I just want 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, okay, so can you implement that? This is pretty simple, right? Okay, suppose if I have 1 2 3 4 5, can you get it like 5 4 3 2 1? Okay, right? No, yeah, you can, but I don't think so that it will require the last logic. Okay, it will be pretty easy if you just think about it. Okay, it's also based on the swapping. It's also based on the swapping. So if I tell you the, then see, your approach would be what, like you can also use recursion in that. In this only you can also use the two pointers, right? So first pointer will start at 0, and the j pointer will be at the end of the point, you have to swap the elements as and when you require. Okay, so you have to swap the elements with the base of the indexes only. Okay, so swap element present as and end. Okay, I hope, am I getting the point? Correct. Okay, so you will start your pointer by this, you end your pointer by this, right? Wherever your I and j, you have to swap irrespective of the condition. Previously we had a condition whether you have 0 or 1 or not, right? You need to swap that, and you need to make this call recursive for every element. You need to stop when I less than j. Correct or not? Oh, platform is having issues. Okay, fine. So I just no, I'll just break now. I'll just break now. Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Okay, so guys, what I told now, that you have this array 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, this is your array. You need to produce the output like 5 4 3 2 and 1, right? Okay, okay, no worries, no worries. I'll not no, I'll not now, because time is already up, right? Don't worry, I'll just break down. Just give me a minute, okay, Priyanshu. So what I told you, that you need to produce output 1 2 3 4 5, and you need to produce the output 5 4 3 2 1, right? So in that you can also use two pointers. Okay, first pointer will start at 5 1, second will be start at 5, है ना? And you need to just swap the both of them. Okay, 5 will be replaced with the 1. Okay, and wherever you will reach I less than equal, like I greater than or equals to j, let's say at this particular point you will reach, you need to stop. Correct? Make a recursive for all for this. Can you implement that? Can you implement that? Not now, at home. Okay, I'll give you homework. Okay, it will be easy, right? If you cannot solve it, I can say please try to know brainstorm something, use your TS, use your group, but I want this approach to be clear to everyone. Okay, this is something known as two pointers approach, right? Okay, so Navneet, I think you did it. That's great. Fine. Okay, fine, no problem. That's great, awesome. Okay, so on that note, can we stop for today's class? Okay, so we'll stop for today's class. We'll meet at Wednesday once again, and Wednesday also will solve some more problem with respect to the loops. All right, that will be more easy one. Anna, don't worry on that, because see, once you will understand the problems, once you will understand the logic, it would be like piece of cake for everyone, है ना? That's why I'm focusing more on logic. Okay, so I'll stop now. Okay, good night, everyone, and I hope everyone have enjoyed today's class. Let's take poll for the final one. We have not taken poll today. Okay, so please participate in the poll. If you have understood everything, please click on true, otherwise false. All right, and yeah, on the Wednesday also it will be like every problems would be easy one. Okay, so don't worry on that part only. So yeah, we also scored century for today. All right, that's great. All right, fine. Awesome. ठीक है, चलो तो on that note I'll end the class. ठीक है. ठीक है, चलो, bye.